Hello, everybody. I am here, a little tired, a little headache, but I am here. How is everybody? I am sorry to keep you waiting. I had so much to try to get unpacked and get ready for today. I have got our fun, I have our fun spring wall hanging to show you. Cannot wait to do that with you. And then I'll show you some of the things that I bought at the retreat and some of the things I won at the retreat, some of the things I got off of the free table at the retreat. And it'll be fun. If I seem off, I just have a little bit of a headache today. The sun is very bright through that window, but I am here. One of the things that got done this week at the retreat was I got all of the Prairie Point border put on. And I would like to it is so good to see you. Give me some time give me some advice on when you put prairie points in a border. How do you keep them laying flat? I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have to tack them or maybe do a little top stitch around each one so that, lint and dirt doesn't get caught under the prairie points. I like the way they look, but I think there's got to be a better way for next time. So I will be looking to see what is a better way to put prairie points so they don't lap out like that. All right, so this one I got finished. I was real tickled about that because that's the nice thing about going on a retreat is you can get away from everything and have time to focus. And my focus this time was, let's get some things finished. Hello, let's see all who is here now that, hold on a second. I do look disheveled. Been running around. Today is the birthday of my grandson, Russell. He's 3 years old today. So he will be here next Saturday, and I can't wait. All right, let's see who's here. Barbara Smith. Yay, you were the first person here. That is what you loved. Oh, my butterfly right here. Maybe you meant that. It's a sweet little butterfly, and I did it by hand. Very easy. So Barbara Smith, Marcia. Hello, Marcia. In fact, Marcia, I think you still are our moderator. If you would like to be our moderator. So that's wonderful. And let's see who else is here. Barbara Smith, first person, Mary. Hi, Miss Mary. Hi, Laura. Polly. Hello, sweetie. It is so good, Michelle. I love my Michelle. I thought of you often at the retreat. I wish that's one thing we could have done. And if I had it to do over again, I would make sure that you went with me and camped out in my camper for a retreat. So Rose is here. I had the best time there. I'm sorry the headache is making me off right now, but I had the best time. The ladies were wonderful. The weather was lovely. I took my reclining chair and sat out in the sun every day and and I forgot to bring it down. I worked on my Alex Anderson. I'm sitting too low today. My chair must have gotten lower, but you know what? I'm not real good at raising it up, so I'm just going to have to feel odd today. So, that's the thing. When you come rushing and bring everything back in and put it in the room, you don't always get it set up just right. Teresa Jukovic, how good to see you, sweetheart. So wonderful. So, I need to drink some water. You know what? I think that's exactly it because I haven't eaten or had anything to drink today, I don't think. Thank you. I'm so glad I've got y'all helping me. Let's see how fast I can get that water in my system. Okay, so I've got so much to show you, I don't even know where to start. So this is one of the things that I got finished. And then let me turn this around. It's hard to turn around because this one is so big. You remember my windswept that I did at my Myrtle Beach quilt party? Well, I got it finished. I got this half flower put on it when I was there. So now it's a complete I guess it's a square. It's a giant square. So I was thinking, what do I do for a border? In the pattern, it just had you doing the lime green inner border and then just the background for the border. But I thought the interesting thing about this design is it's only 2 full flowers and 2 half flowers. So it's mostly background fabric. Well, you know me, I like the color and I wanted more color to bring out the border. Okay. So I thought and thought when I finished and had the whole quilt, and I found a mistake I had made. I hadn't added this border right here before I put the big triangle. So I made sure to add that, put the big triangle back on, making sure it looked good. You haven't seen prairie points overlapping? Oh, wow. Yeah, we do that a lot. And thank you. I do love the colors too. So I sat there and thought, and I said, I've got to do something. It's got to be a little more colorful and a little more exciting. So what I did is I went online and typed in interesting, colorful borders. And up popped Pinterest pages and everything to show the borders. And I saw one I liked. And it was this half moon. Now, they had the half moons that took up the whole border, but I think I would like there to be some border left. So I thought, okay, how do I do the half moon? So I had my scraps and I pulled out all my scraps and I said, okay, since the border, the maximum I could get the border would be barely 6 inches because I was just running out of border fabric. So then I decided, well, okay, I looked at some other measurements, like these little square measurements, and they were, this was a square with the curved piece put on, because I like to refer to the quilt and say, okay, what other measurements do I find in the quilt? Well, the medium one was a square 4.5 inches, okay? So I found these little pieces of cardboard at the retreat, and then I said, okay, then I took and put it down, and I took a pin like this, put the pin right in the corner, and then I took my thread and I wrapped the thread around the pin until it was, whoops, hold on. I want to show you how to do this because this is like, how do you want to make a perfect oval? So I've got the thread tight. See how it's snug? The pin I'm holding straight vertically up and down. And I measure out to the 4.5 inches of the block. Then I just take and draw it. I have turned it into a compass with just this, because I didn't take a compass with me. So that's how I was able to get the perfect angle, and this would be half. And then so you picture this half, then you turn it around, and you have the perfect half moon. This is a quarter, and then You double it and it's a half moon. So then I took and cut the pieces. If I divide each one of these into equal pieces, I did that by measuring if this is a 4.5, then 2.25 would be my measurements. And so then I turned it into 4 equal pieces. Then I did this on another piece of cardboard, and I made the 2 components. Okay, so if you look at this, this is one, I labeled 1 and 4 because it either goes in the 1 position or it goes in the 4 position. This one I labeled 2 and 3, 2 and 3, and this goes either in the 2 position or in the 3 position. So I thought, okay, now I can do this. And I thought real quickly, what is the size of the borders? Will this work? And the finished quilt is 84 inches. So I was kind of doing some math, and I said, I think I can make it work. If I get a little close to the end, then when I put on the last half moon, I can tuck the edges in a little bit more to kind of make it work. But in typical Deb fashion, I'll figure it out when I get there. Now, knowing that I'm at a retreat and people are talking and laughing and I'm stopping and starting, I said, this is not going to work for me because this has no seam allowances. So I picked out the scraps out of the trash can and I made 2 of the pieces. This is the 2 and the 3. This is the 1 and the 4. And they include seam allowances. I said, only cut the pieces out of this because all you need is to forget a seam allowance and then the whole thing is thrown off. So that's how I came up with this. And I only had a little bit of green. So I took a little bit of the green, and it started as a 1 and actually an 8. They started these pieces here. And by the time I put all the pieces together and then decided what size I want, these 2 positions were the ones, well, mostly the 1, because this met in the center. But that was the position where I could take a little bit off to make it just the size I want. And so I laid it on my ruler, on my cutting mat, and I used the same points to measure them every time. So after I sewed them together, then I used a straight edge ruler and I cut them the size I want. Now, I thought, okay, so in a way they're going to be appliqued. And I thought, I don't want to do raw edge. That's too many pieces coming together, and who knows where the bias is. And you know how that bias will sneak up on you. So what I did is, first I thought I needed to press and turn a 1/2 inch seam allowance on each of these. Not quite a half, maybe 3/8. But then I got to where it was so easy, and because the curve is on the bias, I would just put it, I always tucked under the beginning and the end because I stitched it to this first, to the border and the inner border. I put that as one piece. And then I came back and I tucked it in and did top stitching. And I used a medium dark gray to do the top stitching so it wouldn't show too much. Because what color do you use to go over all of these colors? And my favorite, the choice I made was a medium dark gray. Because it truly, let me see if I can pull out some of this thread. What you do is you audition your threads, and which one, when you try the threads, which one does the best job of kind of becoming unnoticeable? And that was this one. Because I'm not going to change colors every 2 inches, trust me. So what I did is then as I would start sewing, I would just fold it under, stitch, fold it, stitch, fold it, stitch. And for the most part, it turned pretty smoothly. Once in a while, it would start to kind of get a peak or something on it, and I would just, sometimes I even had to take a little pin to catch it to make sure that that little ornery thread turned under smoothly. So, what do y'all think? I think that this is a glorious border, and I think it does the quilt justice. Let me go and take it off the frame and hold it up so you can see the whole thing. I still have the top and bottom to do, but let me take it off here. Let me take it off, and then I'm going to stand back and show it to you. But you know, when you make a quilt, there's a whole lot more you have to decide than what color do I want to make this? What fabric do I want to use? There's a whole lot more than that. And if you're going to spend the money to make the quilt, let me get this pen out. It's on the other side. Come on, pen. All right. But you have to decide not just what color and what fabric, but how am I going to finish this quilt? Finish, because you know what? You don't get the applause until you finish it. No. I'm probably going to have to back up even more. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't do this by myself, but here's the one half with that border. And here is the other half with that border. So I think it did a good job of bringing the color back into the quilt. And I'm very happy with it. So let me just put it back up here. Woo! All righty. So there we go. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I might check and see if a granddaughter wants it for their bed. But it's a big one. Hold on, let me get my seat cushion. But it's a big quilt. And I also realized something else. I don't like making big quilts. So I think this is going to be the last big quilt I make. But anyway, so there it is. And I hope you agree with my decision on putting the half moons, because I just wanted to bring more color into it, you know? So, oh yes, in fact, hi, Miss Jody. In fact, my grandson was born today, 3 years ago, so that would be in 2019, and my father was born today, back in 1935. So I just love it that they share the same birthday. Isn't that sweet? And that way I never forget his birthday. So next weekend when he comes up, we're going to do a little birthday for him. So I also remembered to make my binding for the Merry Mayhem Mystery that's on the other side. And what I did is I took the prairie points that I had made, opened them up, cut what was a triangle, it turned it back into a square, and cut them in half and put them together as binding. So that's done. I can't tell you how many quilts I first made that I never thought to make the binding when I made the quilt. And there are some old ones that when I get around to quilting them, I am going to have no idea where the fabric is that I used to make them so that I can bind them. So that's going to be a wee bit tricky. But, you know, I'll figure something out. So just getting them done is so much fun. I'm not going to worry. All right, so I'm not going to do our springtime quilts yet because I got too much to show you. So I guess I can throw these away now, but it was so much fun sitting at a retreat without my normal tools going, I know I can do this. And I like it. All right. Now, is it perfect? Are all of my border half moons show quilt quality? No. But does it make me happy when I see it? Absolutely, yes. Oh, and I want y'all to do me a favor. I'm hoping that there's a dear lady named Janice who I just spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a little bit on Friday. I'm hoping she's going to pop in to say hello. So would you do me a favor and welcome her if she pops in? So let me know if you see a woman named Janice come in. All right. Now, I was telling you about the fabric that I bought, and last weekend I was supposed to show it to you, and then I forgot. So I'm going to start off, even though I didn't, this has nothing to do with the retreat. I'm going to show you this fabric I got. Well, the idea to get the fabric was from Pineapple Fabrics, and when I saw it, I went, oh, because I'm trying not to buy fabric. But if I see something that makes my heart sing, you feel like you got to, right? So look at this. Oh, also, if Magical Carol comes in today, somebody get my attention because I want to make sure she's feeling okay. Thank you, Miss Michelle. So this is the fabric that I saw. It's from a collection called Persis. Persis. And I got this fabric when I put my order in from Pineapple. They wrote and said, sorry, we don't have any more of that left. Well, this is the very fabric that made me want to get the collection. So luckily, I went to Jordan. I looked all around the internet. I went and bought it from Jordan Fabrics. Thank you, Jordan Fabrics. I feel like you saved my life, my quilting life. But here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera down so that you can come over here and see all of the fabrics together, because that's where they really shine. All right. Let me move a couple things out of the way. Here, I want to show you who was the company that saved my quilting life. And it's Jordan Fabrics out in Oregon. And you're very aware of her YouTube channel, and her husband are so great together. And they do such a wonderful job selling fabrics. So thank you to Jordan Fabrics for saving my quilt. Because this quilt, I have decided I'm designing my own quilt. I looked around to try to find a pattern I thought would match the image that's in my head. I couldn't find it. So I'm going to design it. And it's going to be, whoops, let me tighten this. The pattern is going to be, either Art Deco, kind of an Art Deco, what is the other term? Art Nouveau. Because I love that time in history, the architecture and the clothing and everything. So here is one of the fabrics that came with that collection. And let me see. Whoops. Oh, that's right. It's up here. I'm not sure if this will help or not, but yeah, it brings out the gold. Look at that. Brings out the gold. And then here is, and I'm sorry, but when you find a fabric, as long as you paid your bills, when you find a fabric that touches your spirit, that makes your heart happy, then as long as you paid your bills first, I say go for it. Because you know what? I would have been sad if I had not. So now I'm going to pull this all forward. I don't know what else I'm going to add to it, but I definitely need to, because I need a light color to go with all of this. But what exactly do I do? So I'm still going to be looking maybe a pale blue. I'm going to find something in here. and pull in at least one more color. The fabrics speak to y'all too. I was just wowed. This is Robert Kaufman fabric. And let me see, this isn't even Persis, but this is. So let me find, I love showing you the selvages because that way you can get the information. Made in Japan. Oh, no wonder the fabric is so amazing. Okay, it's Persis, Persis, design. Here's the design number. Oh, that's a good idea, Jody. That is a good idea because I think this fabric was called teal. It is by Studio K for Robert Kaufman Studios. Now, this is not a new fabric. So if you like it and want some, get out there and look for it because I got it on sale from Pineapple because it's an older fabric. This, I'm thinking, yes, Jenny Beyer fabric. In fact, this reminded me, especially this one reminded me of Jenny Beyer. But yeah, I'm thinking some kind of teal, maybe light blue. I don't know, it's just gorgeous. But I'm thinking of possibly doing, let me grab my mirror, thinking of possibly doing some fussy cutting of this to create some wonderful designs. Okay, the first one I'm going to do. I don't know if you've ever seen how to do this, but what you do is you take these two mirrors that are taped together, and then you put them on a design, and you rotate them until you come up with something. See, this is what it looked like, but look what you can make it into. You can make it into so many different things. So I may be doing, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's pick another area. Let's look at this right here. Okay, and see it's just this part. Well, let's try doing something interesting with this. Look. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's really pretty, like a pentagon. Okay, now let's try one more. This is why I get excited about these fabrics with bold designs, because you can turn them into so much. So we'll start small. Okay, see, this is a circle, but we're going to take part of it. Whoops, let me put it here. Oops, let me turn off that light. I think it's now causing some shadowing. But okay, so we put it here. Then we can pull it out. Look at that. Then we can open it up. And look what you can create. Isn't that, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So, this is just two mirrors taped together. This was made by Marty Mitchell. I love it. And you can put it anywhere. Look at this design right here. After you've done this a bit, you kind of know what does, oh, look at that. So instead of just having this one thing here, look what you can turn it into. Now you might say, well, how do you turn it into that? What I do is I get it just where I want. Let me grab my my chalk marker here. I get the mirror right where I want it. Then I take my chalk marker and I go in and I draw it down each side. Okay, so I draw it down each side exactly where I want it. Then once I do that, I will take and cut a piece of template plastic or any kind of rigid plastic you can get off of a pie pan or whatever, but it helps you see. And then I lay that plastic on there, like pretend that this was a piece of template plastic. I lay it on there, and then I get myself a marker. Okay, so I've already pretend I've already cut the template plastic to fit the part that I use the chalk on. Then I lay the template plastic, and I take a permanent marker, and I draw enough of the design so I know exactly where I want to make my next cut. And you see here, it has the part of the design on it. Then you would take that and you would find enough pieces, like you need 6 or 8, and cut that exact piece out. Here's one here. You would cut that exact piece out everywhere on the fabric you find it. Cut that out, and then you stack them. You take a pin and you put it through the precise point on one piece all the way through and match it to that same precise point to all 6 or 8 of those pieces or 4 of them. Then you pin it carefully, stack them, cut it, and you'll have the exact number of exact pieces. Don't forget, leave a seam allowance. When you cut it with the seam allowance, then when you stitch them together, you have a perfect kaleidoscope. So, you know, and look at this. Oh, and you know what? Jody, Miss Sharp Eyes Jody, look at that. She caught that teal. But I love doing this kind of stuff. Look at look how it's just like a kaleidoscope. Look how it opens that up. So if you want to make that design, then you just draw a line with chalk down each side where the mirror touches the fabric. And then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would have to do 6 for this one. So cut 6 of those exact pieces from the fabric. And so that's one of the things I'll do. And I'll come back and show you when I do it in person. Because to me, that's the best way to learn, is to actually watch someone do it. But anyway, and you know what? This fabric too, it may be a little busy, but let's see what it would look like if you did. Oh, okay. See, I've just got this stripe and this. But watch. Look at that. By taking that one piece, this is not a circle at all. It's just a slight curve and a straight line. But look what you can do. Look at that. You can bring it in. You can bring it out. So any fabric that has a strong interest point, you can turn into magic in your quilt. All right, so let me get these out of the way. I hope you enjoyed seeing that. And I do love metallics. You know I love my bling. So let me get these out of the way. Oh, and I found this. I don't think this would work with it, but I got that along with the pineapple order because it is a great, great landscape fabric. And you know me. It's all about the landscape. All right. I showed my snowy landscape during show and tell. They liked it. So, I taped the entire show and tell for you. But I've got to figure out how to get it on my computer because this computer doesn't fit a regular memory stick. So let me figure that out. Okay. So now let me show you what I got. But I'm so excited. I asked the ladies, do you mind if I tape the show and tell? Because my ladies love your show and tell. And they were like, that's fine. So this, Carol, we have the most wonderful woman, Carol, who does the best embroidery. Every year she does our tote bags. This year, look at this. It's a carry-all tote. Isn't that wonderful? And look what she did. And here it is. Our time, fun time. I mean, quilt time, fun time. Isn't that cute? And it's our retreat, March of 2022. I love it. Thank you, Miss Carol. Very, very talented woman. And when it comes time for her to do show and tell, you wait. She is the most productive. I said, well, I start about as many quilts as she does. I just never finish them like she does, but I'm working on it. So then we had a prize table. And so I got called, oh, you won one of the big prizes. And this is what it was. Look at this. It's a great big art bin carrier. And let me show you all that it has. Hold on just a second. All right. I was so excited to get this because it's all about good storage. So I like that it's nice and deep. And you know what I'm thinking? My new favorite hobby is fabric painting. All of my Lumiere, my jacquard, my acrylics for fabric could go right here. And look at this wonderful tray that fits in there. And then they have dividers. These dividers, you can fit in the bottom in these little channels. And so I could keep things, segregated by what kind of fabric or whatever it is. And then this can go in the top to hold my brushes and stuff. So I was very excited that I won this. Thank you, Miss Becky, for a wonderful job getting prizes together. And I'm thrilled that, whoops, I didn't have my shirt all the way buttoned. I'm thrilled that I won that. Thank you. So then there was a giveaway table for patterns. And I just thought that was the sweetest pattern. So I got that pattern. Then somebody was handing out free books. I said, is it a mystery? She said, yep. I said, thank you. I will take it. Then they had a magazine table where people are so good about sharing their magazines. I only grabbed a couple because I've got quite a few upstairs already that I haven't gone through yet. Then on the prize table, I was able to get this book. And you know what? I'm very interested in mosaic quilts right now, as you know. So I thought this would be really good. And it has actual patterns in it, which I love. Oh, look at this one. So we'll be doing some more mosaic quilts during Art Quilt Thursday. All right. Then Miss Becky had some rulers for sale. Nice and cheap. Isn't that wonderful? I do not have this size ruler, so I bought it. Then we had Jam Fabrics. If you live in North Carolina, Miss Judy Merrill does Jam Fabrics, and she is a traveling quilt store, and she will come to your retreat. Well, look at this gorgeous. Now, it's not showing up good. It is a beautiful gray blue and pale gray blue, and it's over 4 yards. And I bought the rest that she had. Her prices are so cheap. This was probably $5.99, and so I bought that. And I know I'm not supposed to be buying fabrics, but you got to have your basics. I run through my backgrounds and my basics. Then I noticed that she had a little bit of landscape fabric. So I got the dark. Then I got the light. And then I got the medium. And this will be used for tree bark. It'll be used for siding for houses or barns. It'll be used for fence rails, all of that. Got a half a yard each of that. And then the last other thing I bought is I'm running low on whites and off-whites. So look at this sweet fabric. Those flowers made me happy. So I said, give me the rest of the bulk. And it was like 4.5 yards of that. And it was probably $4.99 a yard. So there I go. That's all That and then some of the for sale tables was all I bought because didn't really feel like I needed to buy that much. But Miss Becky also had this box of Madeira threads, $10. And because I love to thread paint, I look for any opportunity to get a good price on thread. All right, let's see what I've got in here. This was also on the sale table. Miss Janice, if she comes in, was selling this for $8. And I said, you know what? I could use that. So I bought this from Miss Janice. And let me take all my stuff out of it and show you. Upstairs, I have one of these Sears tackle boxes, kind of. Well, it's not tool carrier. And Mark has been going, oh, if you ever don't want that, I'll take it. So what I did is when I saw this for sale, I said, I'll use this instead. It has so many little pockets and things to put stuff in for $8. That's a deal. So thank you, Miss Janice, for this. So, hi, Charlene Piper. We are always happy to see you, sweetheart. Diane 57 is here. Wonderful. Oh, Mitty is here. Hi, Mitty. It is so good to see you. So then they had little things for giveaway. Like these are, I think, the self-stick little Velcro, like little pieces both sides, and I think they're sticky. And I'm hoping so because, you know, I've been having a hard time putting things over on the design board. Then off the prize table, I picked a pack of curved safety pins. Sometimes I just love basic, good old basics, you know, because mine tend to get a little bruised up over time. Then we had the Quilt Bingo. And so luckily, Miss Janice came to the rescue again and was selling packages of 5 fat quarters for $2 and other single fat quarters for 50 cents. So I was able to buy fat quarters to play the bingo, because you throw in a fat quarter into the pot, and then whoever wins all of the fat quarters. And guess what? I won. I never win, but I won. So I'm really tickled. And it's funny, when I was buying the fabrics, this is a Deb. These were 2 of the fabrics that were in the pile. This is such a rich red with a little touch of purple in it. And this one is a wonderful piece of landscape fabric. So I was sitting there the last 2 games. Well, actually, I had an extra one. So I said, I only get to keep one of these if I don't win. Well, I ended up keeping the landscape. But then I won the game, so I got this back. Yay! Because those were the ones that I was like, But there's some neat little fabrics in here. So thank you to the ladies who played Quilt Bingo. Now, someone asked, I said, tell me things that you would like to do on here. And Melissa Lamb, hi, sweetie. So tell me the things that you would like to do on here. And somebody said to learn to do ribbon flowers, use ribbon on quilts. And so you won't believe it, but somebody came with a great big box of ribbons to give away. A lot of people are, after this pandemic, it's like, if we're not going to use it, let's give it to somebody else who can. But look at this beautiful satin ribbon. So what I did is I went through all, and I did it just a little bit at a time. I didn't want to be piggy and take it all. So every time I passed the table, I'd take 1 or 2 Oh, they still haven't taken. Okay, the next time, I'll take one or two. And that's what I did. And so I got some really pretty satin ribbons. Now, that's not really satin. It's a satiny grosgrain, but it's so cute. So anyway, I got all of these ribbons, and it came with this. I said, wouldn't that be a pretty center of a flower? So whoever asked me to teach them how to do ribbon flower making, I'm not sure exactly what you want to call it, but we will be doing that. So now because I was thinking, I'm going to have to get some supplies to do that one. But guess what? If you just wait, it'll come to you. So there's that. All right. So it was my fun time. And it's nice. It's just nice. So we had a good time. And the ladies were wonderful. The weather was wonderful. We have a really good group, a real relaxed, loving group of ladies now. I couldn't be happier. The ladies that are running because I did for a good number of years, I ran the retreat. And then when I went to have my surgery during the pandemic, I thought, I got to turn it over. I'm so glad I did. Now I get to go and sit and have fun and enjoy myself. So anyway, okay. Whew. That was enough. But it was a lot of fun. I've got to be honest. I've got to exercise more. All that walking and doing and unpacking and unloading and loading back and packing back, it wore me out. And now I have to do a really good job of cleaning my house because my grandsons are coming up next Saturday. And so I don't know how I'm going to be worn totally out. Let me see what you've been talking about while I've been, whoops, what in the world did I spell on that? But let's see what you've been talking about while I've been showing you all my stuff. Oh, something happened good for Charlene. Congrats, Charlene. Maybe just because she's here. Yay. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. It does my heart such good to see all of you. So the pearl. Oh, yes. You know what? You know how I love to make. In fact, I think I wore all three that I took with me. The ruching, would that make a beautiful center of a ruched pin? Oh, yes, that would. All right. So now I think what we'll do, because I do want to show some of your pictures. I think Miss Polly sent me a new one. I don't have too many new ones, but I know Miss Polly did. And then I'll show you some still pictures I took from the retreat. And is there something else? I'm going to drink a little bit of Coke. I think I need a jolt of caffeine to wake me up. So yesterday, oh my gosh, I fell asleep a little after 1 o'clock. So Friday, I came home Friday afternoon. I went to bed, fell asleep just after 1 a.m. and didn't wake up until 1 p.m. yesterday. I was a tired girl. What a mess. I try not to drink those, but you know what? Sometimes you need that little sugar and a jolt of caffeine. So, all right. I hope Miss Janice got the pattern. I sent her the pattern location for this one. That is so cute. I can't wait to put it on the quilt frame and quilt it because it's just a happy, happy quilt. I love that. All right. So now today's, and these are just spring. We haven't even started the Easter ones. And all I know is I want to see at least one bunny on an Easter one. So, I wonder where my Minky is. It would be great to use Minky for bunny fur, or I can use the filine stuff and try to do bunny fur. Okay. But I'll work that out because Easter is April 17th. So we have time. All right. Here is what I've done so far. When I was with you last time, we did the weaving of the basket. And that, I hope you will admit, it's fun, it's easy, and what a dramatic look it makes. Now, if you wanted to, you could take and you could trapunto it by putting in bits of batting behind it to give it shape, but I was happy just to have the true weaving of the strips of fabric. And I don't think I brought it, but I meant to. I wanted to bring the little piece of fabric with the piece on it to show you how to make it. I don't think it made it down here. So if you want to see how we did the weaving, if you weren't here to see it, watch last Sunday's and I actually show you how to do it. Now, what else I've done is I worked on it and added some of the tulip leaves and the tulip stems. And then I need to get a little bit of fabric. I've got 2 pieces. I want to actually show you how I use the fusible. Hold on just a second. Let me grab a little piece. I think I'll just use a little piece of this light steam machine 2. And I have 2 of these. I need 1 more. So, and then I think, let's see what fabric I won that I could use. Ooh, maybe some fussy cutting of that might be interesting. All right, so I need I need 1 more leaf drawn and cut. So I'm going to just quickly draw this. Let me get my paper scissors. Could you send me the pattern for the flower pot with the butterfly? I absolutely can, and I will definitely do that. It's at Studio R Fabrics, but you know what? If you don't know where on their webpage, it's tricky, so I will send it to you. But it's a free pattern. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was a free pattern for Studio R quilts. So I will definitely write that down so I don't forget, because it's just such a cute little thing. Now this tulip one, I did it myself. So, okay, so Diane 57 wants the flower. Now, the butterfly doesn't come with it. I did my own. I made my own butterfly, but I can send you my inspiration if you want to do your own. All right, so now let me just lay everything back. I kind of pulled it back so you would feel like I was really doing it to show you. Let me get my iron. Oops, I unplugged my iron. Hold on. Let me find the plug and plug it back in. Come on. Oops, when I leave to go on a retreat, that's another thing probably good to tell you. When I go on a retreat, I unplug things like my iron. I don't want to take any chances of having a short happen. There we go. Got it plugged back in. But I unplugged my iron so I know that my studio is safe at home. All right. So you noticed I used three different colors of green for my leaves. And my iron is heating up. Then here is a little tulip that I put together, and I want that one to go over here. I just noticed the bottom is kind of odd. Let me trim that more even. And I want this one to go here. And then I made this one, and I want it to go, I think, here. Maybe, well, I'll just turn it that way a little. All right, so my iron is just about warmed up. Oh, and then I love this little fabric. And I noticed that by the time I had my last tulip here, it made this side a little heavy. So I took this wonderful fabric and I cut out of the fabric, I cut the shape. Let me see how I have this. I cut the shape out of it to look like that these little petals had fallen off of a tulip bloom and just landed. So, oops. So let me put this. But I wanted it to look like, it gave some bit of color over here. And you know, when you have an arrangement of flowers, the old petals are always going to fall to the tabletop. And I tuck these down below the edge of the basket. All right, so now I've got this all stuck down with fusible. I'm going to end up having to go over it with invisible thread, do a nice zigzag because I don't trust the fusible alone to hold on, okay? So now, got all that done. Now I'm going to take and actually make the next tulip. So what I thought might be fun, it might not come out good, but let's give it a shot. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make the center one out of this little flower right here. Or maybe, let me see. What do I have near the edge? I could put it on this one. So I'm going to open up this fabric. I love this fabric. Riley Blake design. Ooh, I love it. Okay, so I'm going to take, and this is the center of the tulip, and I'm going to take and put this right here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and give it a slight iron. This is Steamosine 2. Now, luckily, I can see through this fabric pretty good. So, let's see. I think I'm going to use this flower here because it's not a full flower, and I hate to ruin these great big flowers. So I'm going to put this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and iron that. Because I don't hardly ever use solid fabric. I feel like I can come up with something a little more creative than just solid. But that's my judgment. If you want to use solid, you go for it. Okay, this one I'll put right. Ooh, it's hard. This one's kind of big. The piece is a little bigger than I thought. Is there another partial? No. I'm going to make this fit. That's what I'm going to do. I can make it fit. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me give this a little press. And then I'm going to cut it out and put it in place. And then we're going to go look at your photos. And we'll see the ones that I have from the retreat. But I just want to give a shout out to all the Raleigh ladies, along with Carol and Becky, for doing such a wonderful job on the retreat. It was a joy. And thank you to Camp Walter Johnson. They are so good to us. So, so good to us. Okay, that's one flower cut out. One petal, I mean. Here's another. All right. Oh, and I took all my necklaces over. But I don't think that, I don't know, it just wasn't their time. I gave away more than I sold. But you know what? They're so much fun. I love making them, and that's what matters. All right, here's my last one. I'm going to come in here along the selvage so I don't damage any more fabric than I have to. And whoever the lady was that brought this, Riley Blake, I love it. All right, so now that's done. Okay, so here are my pieces here. All right, I'll bring it down so you can see. Now, this is just something, a design I came up with very fast. Oh, you would have done it. I just love. Okay, so now what I do is I need to get the paper off of this. My favorite way, you can take a pen and score it, but my favorite way is act like you're going to tear it, and only the paper backing then tears. So that's a good thing. All right. So now I'll put this temporary place. That's one thing I do like about Steam-A-Seam 2 is because, okay, let me cut this excess off, because you can put it wherever you want and get that paper off, making sure that you've got all of the fusible on the fabric, because sometimes it'll want to stick on the paper. All right, this goes on this side like this, and let me pop the paper off this one. Okay. Oh no, I just realized something. I did both petals the same way. Oh well, that's all right. Normally you try to make the petals a little opposite each other, but let me see. So this one really should go over here. You know what? This is such a big petal. I'm going to cut it to be the right one. So I want it to go the opposite way. And see, I had so much fabric that was easy. Okay. There we go. And now this one, let me make the bottom round. All right. This one's going to... Mark is outside working on his motorcycle, it seems. He's got a trip to the beach coming up soon. Let's see. I think I'm going to put this down first and this one here. So it's interesting, it's different, but I think I like it. It's nice to do something sometimes just a little different. I'm not going to want this one to come out quite so far, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, here we go. This is definitely called designing on the fly, but that's kind of cool. I like that. And I got thinking, when I was doing this last night, I got thinking, they're all starting to look a lot alike. I kind of wish I had done a yellow one in there, but I kept forgetting to get yellow fabric. So here is today's spring design. The name of that fabric. Yeah, we both love that, don't we? All right. So this fabric is Riley Blake Designs pattern C4180. It looks like Malle Rose by Lila Tuller Designs. So it's 2014. This is an oldie. But you know what? You might be able to find it on Etsy. But isn't it gorgeous? The colors are perfect. I wish I had more of it now. We'll have to do some hunting. So there it is, Riley Blake Designs. Love, love, love it. Isn't that gorgeous? Ah, wonderful. Okay, so this is the last of our two-part Welcome Spring. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I like it. 2 happy quilts. So now let me turn off the lights and go see your photos. And please say, please, oh, thank you. You know what? That's nice. And I always forget to say, if you like this, share it with your friends, because it may go to somebody who says, I'd like to have something to watch on Sunday afternoon. So that's good too. All righty. It's so good to see. Oh, Jamie's Crafty World is here. Hi, Miss Jamie. Hi, Miss Crystal. Hi, sweetie. We love Miss Jamie and Crystal. Love, love, love. All right, so now what I'm going to do is pull up your photos. Let's see what you've been doing. And, let me see. I don't know if Marcia wants to write on there, but if you would like to have your photos showing on our Sunday show during our show and tell. Oh, hi, Crystal. If someone could type on there to send your photos to ourtimetoquilt at twc.com. If not, I'll be glad to do it soon as I finish showing these. All right, the first photos I have this time, we saw these last week from Miss Betty, but they're so beautiful they deserved another showing. Look at that wonderful, wonderful swan. And look at the reflection qualities in that water. Isn't that wonderful? Beautiful. And then look at her snowy landscape. I love it. And I love that she put the deer. And I love that she did the metallic, shiny, the threads. I mean, it's just wonderful. And this is a kind of barky snow fabric that really is dramatic down there. So way to go, Miss Betty. Way to go. Terrific. All right. So just make sure you keep sending your photos to me because I absolutely love it. Send me your photos to that email. And then I will, whoops, no, we're not going to play solitaire. You never know what button I'm going to push. I don't know if y'all have had a problem, but as I get older, my hand shakes a little more. And then sometimes I have a hard time pulling up the right folder. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to it. All right. Come on, open up. There we go. All right, Miss Charlene Lawson. Look at this. This is her wonderful St. Patty's Day quilt she hung on her front door. What a celebration. And we all wore green at the retreat for our St. Patty's Day. And then we all tried to remember what the Ides of March meant, the day, the 15th. So, and I'm going to call today my grandson Russell Day. And so tickled with that baby. This is Miss Charlene Piper's work, and it is beautiful. And I love this one. Does that just remind you of the 60s and 70s or what? I love it. And then here is her beautiful cabin on the lake. Isn't that gorgeous? Very, very nice. And then a wonderful patriotic table runner. And then she also did, I'm not sure exactly if this is the Merry Mayhem. It might have been a different one, but it has that same look, and I just love seeing that quilt done in other colors. So thank you, Miss Charlene Piper. It was wonderful. Okay, now I'll go ahead and stop at mine real quick. And, oops, wait a minute. All right, here we go. Here is the first picture at the retreat. I hung up my painted mandalas. People loved it. And I don't think I got her final picture of this quilt. But is that a beautiful Baltimore album quilt? So this is the huge room we're in. It has a whole long wall of windows, nice deck out there. And I would sit, in fact, there's through the window, you can see my chair. I would sit out there with my feet up, getting some sunshine. So every day I try to get my sunshine now. All right, let's see the next photo. All right, here's when I first got there and had just started setting up my stuff. And of course, I took my pink flamingo and things my daughter made. And here's that little toad I was talking about. There, I've got a black one upstairs that now I'll go ahead and give to Mark. Here's Miss Janice from behind, but I'm hoping she'll pop in today. And then this is Karen. She learned about the retreat from our show, and now it comes twice a year, attends them. But it's a nice, great big room with all these windows here. And what wonderful work. Our retreats help raise money for deserving children to go to their summer camps. So we are very, very happy to help support the Salvation Army's camps. They do such good work. Okay, here is one of the views that I took from sitting in my chair looking out at the beautiful sky. And it's so funny because now that the leaves are starting to just show up on the trees and the sky looks all different now. I don't know if things are budding out where you are, but they really are here. And here is, I had my design wall, and this is the Merry Mayhem quilt after I'd put the rest of the prairie points on. And here is a selfie of me sitting on that deck squinting because it was bright out there. But that's me sitting out there doing some hand embroidery, getting some sunshine. This is the quilt that I just showed you that I put the half moon fans on. And here it is before I put any of the border, but I had gotten the last two of the teal flowers put on it, and it was before I did the borders. Okay. And I wish I could make it do like a slideshow, but it's acting up. Here we are playing Quilt Bingo. And Linda was our caller here. She did a wonderful job. Nancy's one of our wonderful Raleigh girls. This is another Raleigh girl who helped put this on. Becky does the quilt prizes. I'm just wonderful bunch of ladies. And then here's another table. So we've got our fat quarters here playing our Quilt Bingo. And just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And one more table. And there's Miss Becky. I bought her ruler and her threads. So just great group of ladies. Our eldest member is 90, sitting right there, Miss Gladys. So how wonderful. And these are very kind ladies. Very, very kind. They would share anything with you, help you out, whatever they could do. So there's another photo. And see, we sew on this end of the big room, then we go down that way to the kitchen area and dinner tables. In fact, we were sitting at the dinner tables playing the bingo. Here we go. In fact, right here you see it. So we sit on this end and sew, and there are the dining tables and the restrooms and coffee and iced tea always available and ice over here. And all we have to do is go to this line, get our dinner, then we take our plate, scrape it, and put it at that window. That's all we have to do. That and sew. What could be better? There's Miss Kitty. She's a sweetheart. She does the most beautiful embroidery. All right. Then I just wanted to show you this is little Maisie that I took in. And she is now trying to become a real dog. I'm so proud of her. She's sitting on the arm of the sofa trying to catch some sun from the window and looking out to see if there's something that needs her attention. Because she's very much, you have to follow the rules. There she is again. But I'm so tickled to see her do a normal doggy thing. So then my daughter sent these. Her indoor plants are just doing beautiful. Cyclamen, just everything. She has their plants are thriving like she's thriving. Isn't that funny? Plants kind of, and this is, I set up for Mark to get on the Artemis flight, and you can sign your loved one up. Their name it is free, and their name will be put on a memory card to go up and around the moon on the first unmanned flight. This is my grandson. He's at his new training camp, I think in North Carolina, and then he might be going to Georgia. I'm not sure what. But as you can see, he's doing really well now. Boot camp was tough, but he's such a good kid and very talented. Then we were talking about St. Patty's Day. So this is my daughter, Becky, who's a teacher, a high school teacher, and she's all dressed. And then here's my Katie, and she works for the state of Maryland in land management, soil management, and there she's dressed for the day. So I get such a kick out of my girls. I'm not sure if I showed you this, but this was found in England, and this is a mosaic floor that dates back to the Roman occupation of London. And they just recently have uncovered this, and this dates back to the Roman occupation of England. Look at that mosaic. So you know what I did? I immediately thought, well, that would make a good quilt. So we'll see. But I've always wanted to do a quilt based off of mosaics. Isn't that amazing? I just thought you might like to see that. All right, then I've got a picture of my granddaughter on her first day of her first job. So excited. So excited. Then my daughter, who raises sheep, here are her two little male babies. And this one's got little mutton chops. It's so cute. I love it. And then here are her two crossbred lambs, and they're getting some hay. Right at this age, they're still young, but they are playing and learning how to do it. That same daughter, she's up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. They just built a garage, and now they've just had the floor laid in it. So it's very exciting. They've been wanting this for years. I'm so tickled for them. And here is one more shot of the garage. And I think he's got an auto lift that's going to go in this side. All right, so that's it for me. Now let's go back to y'all, because that's what's exciting, and see who's next. Miss Dolores. Oh, I loved these photos that we got, I think a week ago. Look at Rapunzel here. Is that the coolest thing? I thought Carol from Magical Touch might like these. Okay, then look at this amazing, look at that fairy tale quilt she did. Isn't that beautiful? And look at her eagle. We saw when she was starting to work on this, when she was still on her wheelchair, in her wheelchair. And now she's actually mobile. But look what she has done with this eagle. Isn't that beautiful? Very talented woman. Oh, here we go. And here it shows you some of the patterns and colors she used in the feathers. I love that. And then she's working on a dragon quilt. And she's going to actually have a dragon wired up so she can do an amazing, amazing scene. So, Dolores, as soon as you get more progress done on that dragon, honey, we would love to see it. Edwinice, I love Edwinice's sunflower quilt. I just love that. And you know what? This is fusing of the petals. I love that. Isn't that beautiful? Well, that would be a really nice project. Miss Jeannie, I just thought this was so pretty and so appropriate for spring that I should leave it for one more time. And I love that she did the puffy vase too. I love that. There's so many ways that you can add fun. And I hate to say the word whimsy, it's overused, but you know what? If a quilt makes you smile, isn't that wonderful? Here is, this is from the quilt show. Miss Jody is working on this year's block of the month, and it's a beauty. Way to go. And look at this quilt. That is so cute. A holiday quilt. So she's been a busy lady. Very good. Next is, let's see, Melanie. Melanie, these were so good. Her husband's latest. Isn't that beautiful? And then I love this. The grandson working with grandpa, learning how to thread and operate a sewing machine. Isn't that wonderful? And this is her placemats she's been making recently. Okay. Now, Miss Mitty, this makes me so happy. This is going to be a hard one to let go because I can't keep all of your photos. My computer wouldn't handle it. But oh my gosh, some are even harder to delete than others. And this is such a happy pillow. I love that whale. Okay. Now let's see. Oops. I think I closed the wrong thing. I'll try it again. That was Miss Mitty's. Miss Nadine, I just want to keep this up. Our hearts and minds are still with Ukraine. Oh, come on. Focus. My focus is tired and slow today. And then look at our Nadine. Is she just regal up there on that horse? Her horse, she calls him Big Red. His name is Fred, and he's 5 years old. He's gorgeous, and she is gorgeous with him, and they're learning dressage. Isn't that amazing? They look like naturals. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Miss Nadine, I hope you had a wonderful time. That's very, very important. You know, life It has worries and ups and downs, but you have to be able to enjoy. You can't just be all work and worry. So we're proud of you. Here, look at Miss Polly Storm at Sea. Is that really interesting? I've never quite seen that take on it. That's just really, really beautiful. And her fabric is so cool. I love I know it's like a moon and sun, but it looks like bubbles. And I love that. Way to go, Miss Polly. Way to go. Okay. I think that is it for our show and tell today. But make sure that you send me pictures of your work. Every time the season changes, send me photos of how spring starts for you, where you are. Really, really sad that today is the last day of skiing in Minnesota. We got really hooked on a ski resort and looking at all the kids from 6 years old to 56 skiing. They had a camera set up, Highland Hills. But unfortunately, it's been in the 50s, and they had to close. So I think today is their very last day. They're probably already closed. But anyway, you know what? It's right nice to have spring come along. Winter was tough and long and cold, and it's nice to have spring. So any questions that you may have? Any questions? Nadine is doing really, really good. I've been keeping up with her, and last weekend her husband took her to a dressage riding camp, and she had a wonderful time. So yeah, 90. Isn't that amazing, Miss Gladys? And you know what? I think she gets around better than I do. She is really, really something. So you are transplanting small pine trees. Oh, good idea. You know what? I think I'm going to plant a tree this year. Anytime we can plant a tree, we are giving a kiss to the earth. So that is wonderful, Mary. Be thinking about us. Oh, yeah, Miss Nadine is doing really, really well. She's got a wonderful husband, and, this has all been very upsetting. In fact, I've got our Ukraine support flag right up there, but this is a little bit in the way here. But luckily, I couldn't be more proud of the Ukrainian people. What amazing people. So our hearts and our souls are with them. All right, everybody. Anything else? Riding. Oh, the outside of a horse. Wait a minute. How do you say it? Yeah, the outside of a horse is so good for the inside of the human. And I love that. That is true. My only sad thing is I don't have another retreat to go to until November. Oh, you are going to pick up your new kayak. Ooh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. Laura, it's such a pleasure for you to be here. Yes, Marsha, I'm going to make sure that you're still busy at 90. You working on quilts, working on your crocheting. So everyone, I will be back to my normal self next week. I am just worn out. But I just couldn't have had a better time. And I hope each of you will look for a little way to renew your soul. And, let us know about any online classes that we can maybe decide to take. I've got the cutest pin on. Let me show it to you. I think it says, whoops, here it is. So much fabric, so little time. And I just love that. And so anyway, everybody, have a great week. Do something that feeds your soul, right? You can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself. You've never been to a retreat? Oh, honey, we're going to have to get you to a retreat. We will. It's very, very nice. Yeah, that kayaking is going to be fun. I hope you will, Miss Mary. I hope you will. Or find a good friend like I have in Michelle and make your own little retreat, because it's really good for you. Sometimes it may, if you can't get away to a retreat, the first warm day, take out some hand sewing and just sit outside and sew and call it your own retreat. Okay? All right. Take good care, everyone. Take good care of yourself. And I will see you Thursday night probably for a new art quilt project, as long as I've got enough done for my grandson's visiting on the weekend. And then next Sunday, they'll have already gotten in the car to go home so I can share the visit with you. And I'll try to get the retreat show and tell pictures up too. All right? Take good care. You mean everything to me, and have a great week. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care. Y'all are the best. Thank you, Miss Mary and Miss Diane, for being the moderators today. Bye-bye. Miss Marcia, and Miss Diane. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, Melissa. So good to see you, hon.